There comes a moment when life stops shouting through chaos and begins whispering in silence. Not because the world has become peaceful, but because life has gently stepped back and said, "Now it's your turn." You look around and realize no one is coming to save you, and perhaps no one was ever meant to. Solitude arrives not as a punishment, but as an invitation, the quiet doorway to your awakening. In this video, we will explore the true purpose of being alone, not as loneliness, but as a sacred meeting with your real self. Together, we'll uncover why pain often becomes the first teacher, how solitude reveals the truth behind your thoughts, and how emotional dependence quietly steals your freedom. We'll walk through the power of silence, the art of letting go, the strength of discipline, and how choosing solitude over false company can transform your life. So take a breath and allow yourself to be fully here. This is not just another video. This is a journey back to yourself. If you are ready to stop running, to listen, and to finally meet the person within the silence, then let's begin. Lesson 1. Solitude, the mirror you cannot escape. Solitude is not the absence of people. It is the presence of yourself. Most of us spend our lives surrounded by noise, conversations, screens, expectations, opinions. We become so distracted that the sound of our own soul becomes unfamiliar. But when life becomes quiet, not by choice, but by circumstance, something sacred happens. The masks fall away, the roles disappear, and there you stand, face to face with the one person you cannot outrun, yourself. This is not loneliness. This is a sacred meeting that most people avoid their entire life. When the noise fades, your real thoughts begin to surface. The unhealed wounds, the silent fears, the dreams you abandoned because the world told you to be realistic. It can feel uncomfortable, even painful, but Buddhism teaches, the one who conquers himself is greater than he who conquers 1,000 armies. True strength isn't found in controlling the world. It is found in sitting with your own truth without running away. Solitude doesn't break you. It reveals what was already fragile. It doesn't make you lost. It shows you where you abandoned yourself. So instead of escaping the silence, begin to meet it with gentleness. Each day, give yourself just 5 quiet minutes. No phone, no music, no distractions. Sit with your breath. Notice what rises. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Simply witness. In the beginning, it may feel uncomfortable, but this simple practice is like polishing a mirror. Over time, the reflection becomes clearer. You begin to see not the person the world shaped, but the soul that has always been waiting beneath it. Solitude is not your enemy. It is the doorway back home. Lesson 2. Pain is not the enemy. It is the messenger. Pain is often seen as a curse, something to avoid, numb, or run away from. But what if pain isn't here to break you, but to show you where you are already breaking inside? What if pain is not your enemy, but your awakening? We spend years building comfortable lives, distracting ourselves with noise, people, and routines. Yet comfort, when left unexamined, becomes a soft blanket that hides the real cracks of our soul. Pain simply pulls the blanket away. Every wound uncovers a truth that peace often disguises. When life feels calm, we convince ourselves that everything is fine. But the moment something hurts, a broken relationship, rejection, loneliness, the illusion fades. Suddenly, you see what was always there. Unmet needs, unsaid words, unhealed fears. In Buddhism, suffering isn't seen as punishment. It is seen as a teacher, one that doesn't speak in gentle lessons, but in sharp honesty. Pain is not asking you to resist it. It is only asking you to notice it. The moment you stop fighting it and start listening, the lesson begins. So instead of escaping your discomfort, try this gentle practice. When you feel pain, emotional or mental, pause. Place a hand on your heart. Breathe deeply. Instead of drowning in the story of, why me? Ask softly, what are you trying to show me? Name the feeling without judgment. Fear, betrayal, loneliness, regret. Then write down one truth your pain is revealing. Maybe it's, I have been ignoring my needs, or I keep staying where I am not valued. This is not weakness. This is courage. This is how pain transforms into wisdom. Pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to remove what was never real. It strips away illusions so your life can finally be built on truth. And when you begin to see pain not as an enemy, but as a messenger, it loses its power to control you. You no longer fear it. You learn from it. And in that moment, healing begins. Lesson 3. The real enemy is the voice inside. Sometimes the loudest battles are not fought in the world outside, but in the space between your own thoughts. Your mind can be a sacred temple, a place of peace, clarity, and wisdom, or it can be a prison built from fear, doubt, and self-criticism. The strange truth is, most people are not hurt by life itself, but by the way their mind interprets it. A moment of silence becomes loneliness. A mistake becomes a lifelong identity. A thought of fear becomes a belief that we are not enough. But here's the power you've forgotten. Thoughts are not commands. They are clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. Buddhism teaches that the greatest victory is not over others, but over the self. And mastery of the mind does not mean forcing yourself to stop thinking. You cannot silence the mind by fighting it, because resistance only makes thoughts louder. Real mindfulness is simpler, softer. It means seeing your thoughts without becoming them. It means learning to ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it truth or just an old wound speaking again? When you gain this distance, your mind stops being a battlefield and slowly becomes a quiet temple. To begin this inner mastery, try a simple practice. The next time your mind spirals into fear, comparison, regret, or overthinking, pause. Take one slow breath. Then label the thought softly, like you are pointing at a passing cloud. Fear, judgment memory, what if? The moment you name it, you step outside of it. It no longer has full control. Then, gently return your attention to your breath, the one thing that is always real, always here. Over time, this small act becomes a shield, a discipline, a form of inner power no one can take from you. Your mind is not your enemy. It is just an untrained instrument. When you learn to observe it instead of obey it, you discover a freedom far greater than control, the freedom of peace. And that is the beginning of true mastery. Lesson 4. Emotional dependence is a silent chain. Why do we hand over the key to our happiness so easily? We wait for someone's reply to feel worthy. We measure our value through someone's silence or approval. And without realizing it, we become prisoners, not of people, but of our need for them. Emotional dependence doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't break us all at once. It drains us slowly, every time our mood rises and falls according to someone else's attention. The Buddha warned, he who depends on others is never truly free. Not because love is wrong, but because attachment disguised as love turns into quiet suffering. There is a difference between love and clinging. Love is open palms. It allows others to stay, leave, grow, and return freely. There is trust, respect, and space to breathe. But clinging is a closed fist. It holds too tightly, not out of devotion, but out of fear. Fear of being abandoned. Fear of not being enough. When we cling, we don't just love a person. We depend on them to tell us who we are. But true love doesn't suffocate, and true peace doesn't beg. You don't need to reject people or become cold. You simply need to stop giving them full control over your inner weather. So here is a gentle but powerful practice. Today, notice just one place where your happiness depends on someone else's reaction. Maybe it's the message you keep checking. Maybe it's a silence you're trying to decode. Maybe it's the way your mood sinks when someone withdraws. Don't judge it, just notice. Awareness is the first crack in the chain. The goal is not to stop loving, but to love from fullness, not emptiness. to give affection, not addiction. The love you keep begging from others is simply the love you're scared to give yourself. Real freedom begins the moment you stop waiting for others to make you feel whole. When you learn to be at peace in your own presence, relationships become choices, not cages. You no longer say, "I need you to stay so I can be okay." You say, "I am okay, and that is why I can love you freely." Lesson 5. Noble silence, where the soul resets. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of awareness. It is the space where the soul finally breathes after being suffocated by constant noise. In this modern world, we are surrounded by voices, screens, notifications, conversations, and endless explanations. We speak because silence feels uncomfortable. We explain because we hope someone will finally understand us. But what if healing doesn't happen in noise, but in stillness? What if peace is not found in saying more, but in finally learning how to listen, truly listen to ourselves? There is a Buddhist teaching that says, "When the mind is silent, the heart can speak." Silence is not emptiness, it is medicine. It is the moment when the dust of thoughts begins to settle, when the waves of emotions soften, and the truth gently rises from the depth of our being. Just as muddy water clears when left untouched, the mind also finds clarity when we stop stirring it with constant distraction, talking, overthinking, and emotional reaction. But in a world that teaches us to always speak, explain, defend, and post, silence feels unfamiliar, almost scary. Yet it is only in silence that we learn the language of the soul. Pain often makes us want to talk. We want someone to understand us, to heal us, to fix what we cannot. But not every pain needs to be explained. Some wounds are not asking for words. They are asking to be witnessed. There is a kind of healing that doesn't happen through advice, but through stillness. When we sit with our pain quietly, not pushing it away, not drowning in it, simply letting it exist, something sacred happens. The pain softens, not because it disappears, but because it is finally seen without judgment. Silence becomes the gentle hand that holds your suffering without trying to change it. We think silence is passive, but it is one of the most powerful forms of self-discipline. It takes strength to sit with yourself without reaching for a screen, a distraction, or someone else to save you. In silence, you start noticing things you never saw: the weight in your chest, the story your mind keeps repeating, the ache beneath your anger, the loneliness hidden under your smile. And yet, this observation is not weakness, it is awakening. You are not falling apart, you are finally listening. So how do we begin? Start small. Tonight, before you sleep, turn off your phone. No music, no videos, no scrolling. Just 1 minute. Sit or lie down. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe in slowly, feel the rise. Breathe out gently, feel the fall. Let your thoughts come and go without chasing them. If sadness appears, let it sit beside you. If memories arise, watch them like clouds. Don't judge, don't solve, don't escape. Just be. This is noble silence, not the silence of avoidance, but the silence of presence. With practice, 1 minute becomes 5. 5 becomes 10. And slowly, the mind, once a storm, becomes a calm lake. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect. Challenges will still come. But you will no longer meet them with scattered energy. You will meet them with the strength of someone who knows how to return home to themselves. Remember this: silence is not loneliness. It is returning to the place where your soul lives. You do not need to constantly speak to prove you are alive. Your breath is enough. Your presence is enough. You are enough. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, instead of asking, "Who will listen to me?" try asking, "Can I listen to myself?" The world may not always give you answers, but silence will always give you yourself. Lesson 6. Detachment. Loving without holding. Most people misunderstand detachment. They believe it means becoming cold, distant, or uncaring. But detachment is not the absence of love. It is the presence of peace within love. It is loving with open hands instead of clenched fists. It is caring deeply without trying to control what is never fully in our hands. Letting go does not mean losing. It means choosing peace over control, serenity over fear, truth over illusion. Think of water. When you try to grasp it tightly, it slips through your fingers. But when you cup your hands gently, it stays. The same is true for people, relationships, dreams, and even life itself. You don't drown because you fall into water. You drown because you refuse to let go. The more tightly we cling to something that is always changing, the more suffering we create for ourselves. We hold on to people who have already walked away in their hearts. We hold on to endings long after they have passed. We hold on to expectations of how life should be instead of meeting life as it is. Buddhism teaches the principle of impermanence. Anicca, everything changes. Seasons change, bodies age, emotions rise and fall, relationships transform, moments pass. Nothing is meant to stay forever, and that is exactly what makes it precious. Cherry blossoms are beautiful because they bloom briefly. Sunsets take our breath away because they fade. Life is not meant to be held, it is meant to be experienced, honored, and then released. When we cling, we suffer. When we let go, we love more freely. Detachment doesn't mean walking away from everything. It means learning to say, I love you. I appreciate this, but I do not need to own it to be at peace. It means loving someone even if they may leave. It means working hard without being destroyed by failure or defined by success. It means feeling pain without letting it become your identity. It means allowing life to flow through you, not trying to trap it in place. So how do we practice this in daily life? Start small. Notice one place where you are clinging. Maybe it's an expectation waiting for someone to apologize. Maybe it's a memory you replay every night. Maybe it's the future you imagine that no longer exists. Today, release just one piece of it. You don't have to forget. You don't have to stop caring. You just have to stop trying to control what is already beyond your control. Take a deep breath. Say softly to yourself, I allow this moment to be as it is. I release what I cannot control. I trust what is meant for me will find me in peace, not in force. That is detachment, love without fear, commitment without possession, presence without demand. When you master this, something beautiful happens. Love becomes lighter. Relationships become healthier. Success becomes satisfying, but failure no longer destroys you. Your happiness is no longer chained to how others act or how life unfolds. You begin to live like the sky, vast, peaceful, unchanged by passing clouds. Remember, this detachment doesn't take away the beauty of life. It reveals it. When you no longer cling, you begin to see clearly. You appreciate people not for how long they stay, but for the moments they shared with you. You appreciate life not because it is permanent, but because it is fleeting and therefore sacred. So tonight, before you sleep, release one expectation of a person, of an outcome, of your younger self who didn't know better. Whisper to your heart, it is okay to let go. It is safe to choose peace. And trust that in letting go, you are not losing yourself. You are returning to yourself. Detachment is not abandoning love. It is becoming love. The kind of love that doesn't suffocate, doesn't beg, doesn't break when things change. The kind of love that breathes, trusts, and allows. Because what is meant for you will never require you to lose your peace to keep it. Lesson 7. Discipline, protecting your inner temple. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and think of strict rules, punishment, and pressure. But true discipline, the kind spoken of in Buddhist teachings, is not about forcing yourself through pain. It is about protecting what is sacred within you. It is spiritual armor, a quiet strength that allows you to stay true to yourself, even when your emotions, temptations, or surroundings try to pull you off course. The Buddha once said, "Rule your mind, or it will rule you." And that is the heart of discipline, not controlling the world, but directing your own inner world. Without discipline, our emotions become the masters. Anger takes over when things don't go our way. Laziness whispers, "Do it tomorrow." Fear convinces us to stay small. Comfort tells us we can skip the work. And life, slowly, silently, becomes a reaction rather than a creation. Discipline is the protector of your inner temple, your peace, your purpose, your clarity. Imagine your mind as a sacred space. Without discipline, the doors are left open, and anything can enter: distractions, doubts, other people's opinions, memories you should have released long ago. But with discipline, you learn to close the door gently. You choose what enters. You choose what stays. The mistake many people make is thinking discipline has to be loud and extreme, waking up at 4 a.m., harsh routines, no rest. But true discipline is gentle and consistent. It is not built in one dramatic day, it is built in small, steady moments. In Buddhism, this is called right effort. Not effort that burns you out, but effort that aligns you. Small daily habits, mindful breathing, waking up with intention, speaking kindly even when irritated, keeping one promise to yourself, these become the quiet builders of inner peace. Think of a temple. It is not built by one single stone, but by placing one stone every day with patience and care. Your life is the same. One disciplined breath, one conscious choice, one moment of stillness when you could have reacted. This is how the inner temple stands strong. Without direction, emotions become wild. You don't control your mind controls you. One thought can ruin your day. One comment can break your confidence. One fear can stop you from trying. But discipline is the hand that gently holds your mind and says, "Stay." Discipline is choosing to respond, not react. It is doing what nurtures your higher self, even when your emotions beg you to do the opposite. So how do we practice this kind of discipline? Start small, so small your emotions don't rebel. 1 minute of mindful breathing every morning. One promise you make and keep, like drinking water before you touch your phone. One act of gentleness, pausing before you speak when angry. These may seem simple, almost insignificant, but they are not. They are spiritual training. They are you telling your mind, "I am in charge now." Over time, discipline becomes less of a task and more of a rhythm. You wake up not because you are forced, but because you honor your morning. You breathe mindfully, not because someone told you to, but because your soul craves that silence. You speak gently, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to stay calm. You begin to see the difference between what is easy and what is meaningful, and you start choosing the meaningful. This kind of discipline doesn't close you off from the world, it anchors you within it. You still feel emotions, but they no longer drown you. You still face problems, but you are not shaken as easily. You still experience temptation, but you do not surrender your peace for temporary comfort. You become steady like a mountain in the wind, like a candle that keeps burning even when others flicker. Remember, discipline is not about being hard on yourself. It is about being loyal to your future self. It is about protecting the version of you that is peaceful, calm, and free. It is about refusing to let temporary emotion destroy permanent values. You are not disciplining yourself because you are not enough. You are disciplining yourself because you finally realize you are worth protecting. So tonight, choose one act of discipline, just one. Wake up 5 minutes earlier than usual and sit with your breath. Or drink water before touching your phone. Or choose silence instead of arguing. Or speak gently when your voice wants to shout. These are not small things. These are bricks of your inner temple. Discipline will not make your life perfect, but it will make you powerful in the most peaceful way. You will no longer be pulled by every thought, every fear, every mood. You will walk with quiet strength, not because life is easy, but because you have built something inside that nothing can shake. In a world that praises chaos and speed, Choosing discipline is an act of rebellion, but also an act of love. A love for your peace, a love for your purpose, a love for the person you are becoming. One day, you will look back and understand. Solitude was never your punishment. It was your training. Life was not pushing you into loneliness. It was guiding you back to the only place you were always meant to begin, within yourself. The silence you once feared became your greatest teacher. The pain you tried to escape became your guide. Every moment you felt abandoned was not life leaving you. It was life gently removing the noise so you could finally hear your own soul. And the self you spent years avoiding slowly became the safest place you know. May you learn to walk gently with yourself. May you treat your heart not as a battlefield, but as a home. May you begin to love your own company the way you once loved others, fully, patiently, without rushing it to be perfect. Because the truth is, you were never truly alone. You were simply being returned to yourself. If this message touched something quiet inside you, share it with someone who might also be walking through their own silence. And if you'd like more Buddhist wisdom, gentle guidance, and reminders that you are never truly alone, you are welcome to stay, to breathe, and to grow with us